In the year 44 BC, Julius Caesar, Rome's self-proclaimed dictator for life, was assassinated by his very own Senate. The assassin celebrated as the Roman Empire was finally free of Caesar, who they saw as this unstable dictator bringing the downfall of Rome. To their surprise, the citizens of Rome did not share this distaste for the once ruler. In the end, the Senate's actions decided the fate of their own lives, as well as the Roman Empire. My name's Jake Storielli, and this is Laughs from the Past.
You're like an orator.
Yeah, I had a feeling there. Again, I don't know what movie it's from. I want to say it's Gladiator, but the throat guy gets up in what's the ring? The fighting ring.
Stadium. Arena.
One more. What's it called? There's a word for it.
Coliseum.
The Coliseum. Nailed it. And because they didn't have loudspeakers.
Yeah, just one guy just
there
had
was
to yell.
The yell guy.
The orator, I think was his name.
In the air. He just he doesn't try to be super loud. He tries to be as shrill as he can.
And it's all about the vibrations.
The vibrations, the shrill.
In the air.
You there?
You really need to open yourself up. You can feel it go all the way down.
That's why you saw the body motion. It worked for getting away from the mic, too.
In the air. I felt that go all the way down to my Luke Voigt muscle.
It's all about the vibrations.
Yeah, this is Last from the Past, Season 5, Episode 3. Season 5 is all about historical backfires, Jake. First episode, the French just opened up a rat superhighway in Hanoi.
Yeah.
Second episode, someone decided to not trade with Genghis Khan.
Yeah.
Terrible mistake. And we have a much, much more famous story today. One of the biggest backstabbings. I think it's where the term backstabbing comes from.
Is this a top 10 all-time known story?
I think Romeo and Juliet's up there.
Right.
Which isn't a real story, but it's still a story nonetheless. Right. Probably God and Jesus.
Like walking on water and stuff. That's pretty big. Moses
pretty big.
Separating things.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe I'd say a lock top 10 real life story.
I think so. Everyone knows about this.
Yeah.
Et tu, Brutus?
E2, Brutus? If you're talking to your Spanish friends.
Achu, Brutus? If you're sneezing.
Brutus sneezes.
If you sneeze, yeah.
Brutus having a big day so far.
Achu? What?
What?
Yeah, so historical backfires. You big Julius Caesar fan?
Huge, as you can tell by my knowledge of the Coliseum, which I called the arena. No. I don't know. I guess I think I'm more open to Julius Caesar than most. I feel like he gets a lot of the blame for the downfall of Rome when it feels like we're going to spin this on the Senate a little bit.
Yeah, I think Caesar was great.
Doesn't sound... I thought Caesar at the end of the day comes off as a bad guy, but I'm not against Caesar.
Nah.
Okay.
Are you a Pompey fan? That was his biggest adversary.
I mean, sounds like he was flaunting the dictator for life thing pretty hard.
Well, maybe it was the best thing for him.
Dictator for life.
You really want a rapper to use that.
Yeah.
Dictator for life.
Be a good tattoo. Julius Caesar under it. They're like, oh, okay. Kind of adds up.
Get the Julius Caesar do.
Okay.
Tattoo your dick.
Was Julius Caesar good looking?
Well, it's kind of impossible to say. All you're going to find is like a statue of him. And no one really knows.
I always land here. How tall do you think he was?
5'7".
Okay, nice. Good height.
There's no way they know how tall Julius
I think he's
Caesar is.
ugly. Look at that one version of his head. Oh, my God.
All of these
Bulbous.
look like wildly different people.
Yeah.
So we don't know.
We don't know what Caesar looked like. I mean, they're going to have Caesar's height. There's no way. You know, I've been to the Colosseum and, like, the ruins of Rome. They're pretty
The arena,
cool.
yeah.
I've been there. It was cool. 5'9", they say.
5'9".
How do they know that?
So, yeah, he was 5'7".
Yeah.
It's a no-brainer.
You know he banged Cleopatra?
I heard rumors about that, and they seem like different time periods.
Yeah, it's wild, right? Yeah, they had a kid together.
It's
That's
pretty
the
cool.
rumor.
Right.
And then Mark Antony, he was underneath Caesar.
I feel like I get excited every 3 to 5 years that they're doing something around this time period, and then it just doesn't interest me.
Oh, HBO had a show called Rome about Julius Caesar and Mark Antony and Cleopatra and some commonly like soldiers that fought in the army.
Right.
I thoroughly enjoyed it, but I do think you would be uninterested by it.
That's what, maybe I'm thinking of that, and I think there was another one before that because you're like, yeah, this sounds badass. You're like, what? Cleopatra, Julius Caesar, Mark Antony. You get some Brutus going, but I feel like I'm disappointed every time. But maybe I missed Rome. I don't know.
Maybe it's your fault.
Maybe it's me.
Maybe it's Maybelline.
Maybe it's Maybelline.
You want to get into the story a little bit here?
Yeah, I think so.
All
I think so for those that don't know, we're what, 44 BC or PC?
PC, huh?
Post Christ.
Post Christ.
People don't say that?
44 BC.
BC. So
I think
wow,
it's
we're approaching.
I think
We're sneaking up.
I think the PC you were looking for is AD.
Well, times are changing, Jim.
Okay. The date that Julius Caesar, the most famous Roman of them all, was killed at or on his way to the Senate is one of the most famous in the world.
Know what it is when you're talking in that ancient Rome voice?
Yeah.
You have to pretend every short, like, mini sentence you say exhausts you.
Julius Caesar, the greatest ruler that was ever in the world.
That's pretty good.
You have to pretend it, like, takes everything out of you to
Yeah.
say that sentence.
The events on the Ides of March.
So many people just turning off their music right now.
15 March in the modern calendar.
Oh.
Yeah, all right.
right.
In 44 BC, it had enormous consequences for Rome, triggering a series of civil wars that saw Caesar's great nephew, Octavian, secure his place as Augustus, the first emperor of Rome. So that's the thing. No one was supposed to be an emperor of Rome.
Right.
And they killed Caesar for that reason. And then it led to the biggest emperor of Rome, I believe, is what we're talking about today.
Okay.
But what actually happened on this famous date, reads this article. The answer must be that we will never know in any great detail or with any great certainty.
Perfect.
So let's keep
The
going.
perfect story.
Why would you open up the article like that?
It's tough. I guess because you can form your own opinions about it.
Yeah.
You get to use the context clues and put together your own story.
There was no eyewitness account of Caesar's death. What about the people that stabbed him? Like no third party eyewitness?
Someone watched Caesar get stabbed. If Brutus is innocent
No, he's not.
and he's just been thrown under the bus all these years, that's nuts.
Yeah, I know. He's guilty.
How do you know?
Et tu, Brutus?
You weren't there.
I was the eyewitness.
You were not the eyewitness. That's the first lie of the episode.
I was born in 1989.
We're still good.
Okay. There is no eyewitness. Nicholas of Damascus wrote the earliest surviving account probably around 14 AD. It took them 64 years. 44 plus 14. 58. It took them 58. That was
You
so
had it.
bad. That was so bad.
No, you were right there
It
the whole
took
time.
it takes them 58 years to write down when the emperor got stabbed to death.
Yeah. That's what I'm telling you. Brutus is innocent. I've never been more confident of anything in my life.
Why wasn't it written down right
The
away?
day it happened.
It seems like the biggest event in the history of Rome.
Right.
And they were like 58 years later, like this guy was like, you remember when the emperor got stabbed to death? I think I'm going to jot that one down.
They're going to want to know this one. Let's build a time capsule.
So Nicholas of Damascus, thanks for writing it down. While some people believe he may have spoken to witnesses, nobody knows for sure. And his book was written for Augustus, so it may be biased.
Augustus.
Yeah, that's good. I'm glad you taught me the trick.
No problem.
Probably
Now everyone can do it.
everyone can do that at home.
You have to lean back. So that's the part that
they
people
can't
at home
see
haven't
us.
seen.
You have to lean
arch
back.
your back, stand very straight, and just shrill,
Yeah.
vibrate, and at the end of the statement, pretend you're going to pass out.
Yeah. It's good. It's key.
Rome's triumphant military.
I got two shriek at the end. Two shriek. Practice
good.
on your own time, people.
They're pausing and practicing. At least one person has for sure.
Yes.
Suetonius's telling of the tale is also believed to be fairly accurate, possibly using eyewitness testimony, but was written in 121 AD.
We're 200 years later, and we think we have eyewitness testimony now? That's not how this works.
That's a bizarre sentence. Possibly with eyewitness testimony 200 years after the fact.
200 years PC, and we finally have an eyewitness account.
I was there.
What?
Are you serious? How old are you?
You're 24 years old. You were not there.
Yeah. Brutus fucking stabbed him.
This is tough.
Okay, the conspiracy against Caesar.
Okay.
Even the briefest study of Roman politics will open a can of worms rich in plotting and conspiracies. Rome's institutions were relatively stable for their time, but military strength and popular support, as Caesar himself showed, could rewrite the rules very quickly. Power has always been up for grabs. Was always up for grabs. Rewrite the rules. I was brutal on my speech impediment,
Yeah.
but I think I conquered it fairly well.
Did well.
Caesar's extraordinary personal power was bound to excite opposition. Rome was then a republic, and doing away with the arbitrary and often abused power of kings was one of its founding principles. I am blown away. Like America did the same thing in Washington. George Washington stepped down after 2 terms, and no president ever did more than him.
Right.
It is crazy when like society like figures that out, and then everyone falls in line. We're going to find out here is that some people will take advantage.
Right.
No one ever gives FDR shit, though.
Why does Rome... Was Rome the first ever, like, well-functioning government? Were they the first ever democracy? Like, pretend? Or why did they get so much love?
They conquered the world.
Right.
But I don't really know. They would go conquer people, and then, like, they were under Roman rule. They had the biggest armies. And I think that the Senate and, like, that ebb and flow of power was, like, part of their
I was going to say
whole
that
game.
gets a lot of the love there.
Because a lot of dynasties like die out with the family. You have one terrible grandson, you're doomed.
Checks and balances
Yeah,
is what they'll call it.
yeah, yeah. Look at Brutus. He looks so young in this statue they have of him. No eyeballs even. Anyway, in 44 BC, Caesar had been appointed dictator, a post previously awarded only temporarily and in times of great crisis, with no time limit on the term. So he was originally he was appointed dictator. You see that, Jake? The people of Rome certainly saw him as a king, and he may have already been regarded as a god.
It's a lot of pressure.
You can't do that.
That was like the thing then. I mean, that's a good thing you mentioned Cleopatra, because I think if you say that sentence and you're like, well, they thought Cleopatra was a god, and you're like, oh yeah, ancient Egypt, they had all sorts of gods, and then you're like, well, Julius Caesar, they thought he was a god, and you're like, what? Like they were people just a couple years before us. Like they're cool, but no, same time period.
How dumb the masses are. Not only is this man our king, he is a god.
He's a god.
He's neither.
Neither.
He wasn't a king. He was
Right.
a dictator in time of crisis.
Type of king. He's a form of king, not a god.
No, I think you have to be born into kinghood. Like, I don't think you can be
Right,
voted into
It's
kinghood.
a symbol. It's the leader.
Leader, yeah. Do you know that my greatest achievements in college
Being the king.
was planning out to take History of Ancient Rome
Okay.
and History of Ancient Egypt in the same semester.
Oh, wow.
Both 300 level classes, so you have to write a 15-page paper. You can usually choose whatever topic you want to do it on, you know?
Right.
So I chose the Roman-Egypt
Egyptian
connection,
relationship, yeah.
and I
It's a
turned in the
no-brainer.
same paper for both classes.
Yeah.
And it's one of... If I had to write a real resume,
Right.
that'd be on there. Like, I planned out these two classes.
Like your actual top 10 achievements. That's there.
To have the
no
wherewithal, like, I can take both these classes.
Yeah.
I can write one paper. I can hand it into both professors.
See, I did something similar. There's 2 business classes, but it didn't fit the construct perfectly for the other one, but I still went for it. But I got like an A- in the class it was meant to be and got like a C- in the other one. And they were like, this was kind of off topic, but it's decent work. So here you go. But that's still a win. I mean,
Yeah.
net.
The next
That
semester,
comes out as a B.
when I was trying to pick my history classes for the next semester,
Yeah.
I was just searching for overlaps.
Right.
And I found another one.
And
I did it again. It was history of like females in continental America or something like that, and history of women. And I did Prudence Cambrell. She was a school teacher in Connecticut that opened up a school for just freed black women. Which, like, can you imagine? They were
Pretty
so
good.
mean.
yeah.
They're so mean, man. They like shit in the wells and burned down the school. It was terrible.
Yeah. Bad times.
But yes, good feat by me. One paper, 2 classes.
Ancient Greece.
Ancient Greece. Okay. More than 60 high-ranking Romans, including Marcus Junius Brutus, who may have been Caesar's illegitimate son, decided to do away with Caesar. They called themselves the Liberators, and their ambition was to restore the power of the Senate. Now, this is where I think it's a real crock of shit. They voted Caesar in.
Right.
He didn't take it, as far as we know so far in this story that we're reading.
Okay.
It says he was appointed dictator. Because, like, at time of crisis. So, like, when FDR was president for
Right.
more than 2 terms, we were in World War II, so everyone was like, okay, it's kind of cool. It's all right. We need to keep face here.
I mean, again, like, I don't know enough because I'm picturing, because, again, we know this government was corrupt. I'm picturing people being pressured into voting Julius Caesar in.
By him?
By him or powers that wanted him in charge.
Okay. The Ides of March. Beware the Ides of March is a cool saying.
The Ides of March. I feel like I did that as like a song and chorus or something.
It's about Julius Caesar. Beware the Ides of March is like, beware about getting stabbed if your name's Julius Caesar and you're alive in 44 BC and you've just been appointed dictator and they're not happy with you.
Ides of March song. Okay, go on.
This is what Nicholas of Damascus records. So this is a guy who wrote it like 50 years later. The conspirators considered a number of plans for killing Caesar, but settled on an attack in the Senate, where their togas would provide cover for their blades. Badass. Rumors of a plot were going around, and some of Caesar's friends tried to stop him going to the Senate. His doctors were concerned by dizzy spells he was suffering, and his wife, Calpurnia, had worrying dreams. This is such nonsense. Brutus stepped in to reassure Caesar that he would be fine.
Oof.
It's just tough to tell me a guy 50 years later wrote this, and it's like, but how do you know?
Well, she was having the dreams, and Brutus told him it'd be fine. Whole thing's currently trash.
Why are some Roman names so cool?
Go on.
Or is that just me? Calpurnia? That's like a hot name. I'm into it.
For girl or guy?
Girl. And then Brutus? That's awesome name.
Brutus is good for the right person. I think if my name was Brutus, I think I'd have a tough life.
Yeah, it's true.
Right?
You definitely can't be a Brutus.
That's tough.
It's a good dog
You're
name.
picturing Brutus as this awesome, like, linebacker.
Yeah.
Like, if you ran into a Brutus in college that was on the football team, you'd be like,
That
nice, dude.
that adds up. Yeah.
you run into me. The court jester named Brutus isn't a good look.
Yeah.
That's tough.
That's good. Yeah. Okay. So Calpurnia, though, you like that name?
You're more into it than me.
Sounds
but
like
I'm
a
okay
flower
with
to
that.
me.
Yeah. It's too close to like porn in California.
Wow. Gross sicko over here. Brutus the Freak.
Me and intern Luke, the second you said California, just looked at each other and like, I don't know if you could say that.
Calpurnia. It's a good name.
All right. You can use it.
Caesar is said to have made some sort of religious sacrifice, revealing bad omens, despite several attempts to find something more encouraging. Again, many friends warned him to go home, and again, Brutus reassured him.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so Brutus is starting to look worse.
Yeah.
Oh, it's cool.
Yeah, we just got to take this dude's word for it.
Everyone telling you you're going to get stabbed, like, don't listen to them. It's me, Brutus.
They're lying.
Yeah, I've got this.
Yeah. Hide a knife in our togas.
Totally not going to stab. Oh, yeah. Where's my knife?
Yeah.
One falls out. Okay.
Stabs his little toe.
my knife
See,
I
I'm
always
hurt. Okay. In the Senate, one of the plotters, Julius Caesar. Oh, that's a great name.
Tilius?
Julius Caesar?
I like Cimber.
Yeah, no combo.
Tilius.
It sounds like timber. T cinder.
Well, yeah, if you take out the Ilias, the whole part of that first
You don't
name.
like Tilius? Yeah, see, it's just a
No.
me thing. I'm digging all these Roman names.
Tilly Simba.
That's awesome.
No. Also getting beat up.
Tilly?
With Jester Brutus.
Tilly Cimber. No, you have to picture him. He's a plotter.
Right.
He's probably 15 years old.
So you're not friends with Tilly Simber?
No.
See, when you say cool names, I think you need to be saying that in reference of like
It fits.
that's
a person.
something you'd give like your kid the middle name. Like I'm picturing you like baby girl, and you're like, wow, Calpurnia. If you like it,
I would never name my daughter Calpurnia.
Well, then we need to define what you're describing as cool names.
Like as a character in a book, if a character in a book's name
Yes.
was Julius Caesar,
They're
I'm
all
like,
silly names. They're unbelievable.
they're like an author made up fun names.
Yeah, it's ridiculous we got to Fred after Calpurnia as a society. Yes.
Julius Caesar. It's a great name.
Yes. It's an entertaining name.
Yeah.
Great name means okay. Never mind.
I'm glad we're on the same page now.
Yes.
Well, he approached Caesar under the pretext of pleading for his exiled brother. See, he's such a little bitch, Tilius. Oh, please. That's how I'm picturing him.
Okay.
He grabbed Caesar's toga, preventing him from standing and apparently signaling the attack. Why wouldn't he be able to stand if his toga's grabbed? Julius Caesar a weakling?
I guess so. Didn't they say he was having dizzy spells?
Yeah, they also said he had bad omens from...
His wife had bad omens.
Oh, yeah. She had worrying dreams. Welcome to my
AKA
life.
all the people in the streets telling you, hey, Julius Caesar's about to get murdered. And his one friend Brutus being like, nah, it's cool. Seems like a bad omen.
Yeah, does. Well, anyway, Tilius stepped on his toga, which like just made him completely...
Right.
Seems like some video game shit. Oh, if you step on his toga, you render him motionless. He's trapped. And it signaled the attack.
Maybe that like accidentally happened a lot in the days. Like you just tripped on people's togas. So he was like, all right, I'm going to step on his toga to signal the attack. So you guys attack. If you don't, I'm just going to pretend I tripped on his toga.
I'm picturing the togas dragging on the ground a lot. You think it was like, don't step on my toga, dude. You think it was a big insult? I think they got stepped on all the time.
It's not the same as stepping on someone's shoes, but people didn't like it if you stepped on their togas.
All right. I'm looking up Julius Caesar. A little pudge to him.
Hate Julius.
Good flow on his hair, to be honest. Yeah. I think he's in this, what we're looking at. I think he's... Nah, he's not. Anyway. So, Nicholas recounts a messy scene with men injuring each other as they scramble to kill Caesar. Once Caesar was down, more conspirators rushed in, perhaps keen to make their mark on history, and he was reportedly stabbed 35 times. Would you rush in? I got to be part of this? Because we don't even know all 35 men's names or anything like that.
If I'm being honest, probably yeah. Just because, like, if it's already happened, it feels like the new regime has a lot behind it. And in those times, like, anything went. So you don't want to be clearly opposing the new regime out of the bat. You're done. Like, if you don't run up to the Caesar stabbing crew, you don't have to get a stab in. But if you're there, then you can be like,
kick his ankles a little
I was
bit.
right there. I forgot my knife fell out.
I'm having trouble, Jake.
Okay.
This is what I'm having trouble with. Nicholas, the guy who wrote the story in 14 AD,
right?
He says, perhaps the conspirators ran in to make their mark on history, yet this didn't even get written about for 50 years.
Right.
So we got a weird sense of, I'm going to make history. Oh, wait, this didn't make the news.
There's a weird amount of, why is this null? Like, why 50 years? Why 200 years?
Yeah. Yeah.
And for one of the most told stories ever, maybe that's why it's one of the most well-told stories ever, is that for years just nobody wrote it down, so it just became the most told story ever. Yeah. And then someone was like, all right, we finally have to put pen to paper on this shit, because we all know it. It's the most known story there is, and it hasn't been written down yet.
Yeah, and then at that point, everything gets bigger in the retelling. I'm saying Caesar got stabbed 3 times max.
You'd never cut it as the Colosseum guy. You'd let out one lisp, and they'd be all over you. Julius Caesar! Oh!
That's just his name now. If the orator messes up your name, that's your name.
It would suck.
Like Julius Caesar, his name was actually Tilium.
Tilium Cimber. But he got ripped as Tilius.
Tilius! Yes, Tilius!
And he looks over and Tilius is like, all right.
Okay, it's cool. That's not bad. I like that. Caesar's famous last words, et tu, brute, are almost certainly an invention given longevity by William Shakespeare's dramatized version of events. At least we admit that. Everything else is for sure. It was the toga stepping trick and the worrying dreams and 35 stab wounds. That's all, for sure happened. But the et tu brute, definitely made up.
Et tu?
Et tu? How do you picture him actually saying it?
Et tu brute. I don't know. Hard T at the end, though. He really emphasizes the T at the end.
Oh, okay.
Because that's his going down swinging.
Oh.
Confident in that.
I have him real angry.
Ooh. Go on.
And still, like, fighting. Like that.
It's an old man with dizzy spells. He's done.
Time of his life.
Done.
The aftermath. Yeah, when's the backfire come?
Yeah.
The aftermath. Republican ambitions backfire. War ensues. Expecting a hero's reception, the assassins ran out into the streets, announcing to the people of Rome that we were free again. Free at last. Free at last. Julius Caesar. No, do your voice. Julius Caesar has been stabbed.
Julius Caesar has been stabbed.
There you go. But Caesar had been enormously popular.
I guess that's the part that's not connecting to me. Like, did they just take bad straw polls and they were like, this is going to kill it? And then they did it, and they're like, oh, we pulled the wrong people.
Yeah, everyone liked Caesar.
This was a mistake.
Particularly with ordinary people who had seen Rome's military triumphant while they had been well treated and entertained by Caesar's lavish public entertainments. Caesar's supporters were ready to use this people power to support their own ambitions. So they run out of the Senate. We did it. We did it. We killed the tyrant.
I did it.
Who do you think you are? We are. We killed Julius Caesar. And they're like, but we liked him.
What? We're sad now.
Why? No, we did it. We know why, though. Why'd you do it? He was cool. Are you going to throw us those parties?
Do we get more food or water or something?
What's the benefit to us?
Yeah. We need a perk.
The Senate voted an amnesty for the assassins, but Caesar's chosen heir, Octavian, was quick to return to Rome from Greece to explore his options, recruiting Caesar's soldiers to his cause as he went. Caesar's supporter, Mark Antony, also opposed the liberators, but may have had ambitions of his own. He and Octavian entered into a shaky alliance as the first fighting of a civil war began in northern Italy. So Octavian was like his nephew, kind of.
So this went from things are kind of cool, a couple people didn't like the rulers, to like full-fledged civil war.
Yeah.
That's a backfire.
Because five
backfire.
senators thought, like, in the history of Rome, we weren't supposed to have dictators.
Yeah.
But in this time of crisis, we appointed a dictator. It's like, well, you did it.
But you did it. This was the plan, guys.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to say cool.
So Mark Antony is like, that was fucked.
Cool's gonna, yeah. Mark Anthony's not wrong. Mark Anthony's kind of in the right here. There must have been a lot of guys at the local Roman pubs being like, I stabbed Caesar.
Yeah. I was there.
You know, Caesar got stabbed 42 times or whatever. I was 3 of those stabs.
Yeah. How'd you get into the Senate room?
Oh
my God. I wore this.
I do security on the side for the Senate.
I found a Senate toga.
And I don't know. I mean, I stabbed. Like,
where'd you stab him?
Got caught up in the moment. Eyeball.
Oh, that was you. I heard about the eyeball stab.
Heard about the eyeball stabber.
What'd it feel like?
This is the classic that if there's a good sporting event that holds 50,000 people, there's 200,000 people that say they're there.
Mm-hmm.
There was, if you added up the stab wounds from people that said they stabbed Caesar, there was 400 stabbings. Maybe there was 35, and that's how, or maybe there was 3 stabbings
that's what
originally,
I said.
And that's how we ended at 35 50 years later.
That's my theory. Yeah.
History.
Also, the people that heard them run out of the Senate and say, like, we're free, that's everyone in Rome heard that.
Right.
I was standing right outside
Oh,
the Senate
yeah.
building. I knew something was going to happen. It just seemed like a weird day.
I was having a weird day.
I was like, something may happen. I'm going to
hang out by the Senate today.
Yeah. I got another piece of bread.
Yeah.
What else did you eat? Bread?
Just bread.
Just a lot of bread.
Carbs.
So Mark Antony and Octavian are at civil war. On the 27th of November, 43 BC, the Senate named Antony and Octavian as 2 heads of a triumvirate, together with Caesar's friend and ally Lepidus. I'm not too keen on Lepidus. I don't think that's a fun or cool name.
Not great.
Tasked with taking on Brutus and Cassius, 2 of the liberators. Oh, so Octavian and Antony were on the same team. Interesting.
Oh.
Okay, yeah. Antony and Octavian entered a shaky alliance. And they were fighting against the liberators.
Got it.
They set out about murdering many of their opponents in Rome for good measure. Makes sense. The liberators were defeated in 2 battles in Greece, allowing the triumvirate... Am I saying that right?
You're around
allowing the triumvirate to rule for an uneasy 10 years. That's cool. So that's not that bad then. For the next 10 years, wasn't that bad. There was Mark Antony, Octavian, and Lepidus were all ruling together. Three-headed
Triumvirate
snake.
crew. Yeah, that's kind of fun.
Mark Antony then made his move. Mark Antony has married Cleopatra, Caesar's lover and the queen of Egypt.
Damn.
And he planned to use Egypt's wealth to fund his own ambitions. Both of them committed suicide in 30 BC after Octavian's decisive victory at the naval battle of Actium. So he goes, marries Cleopatra. They're going to take on Octavian now. The triumvirate, it was cool for 10 years, but no, I want to do it all. And Octavian wins the battle, and he's like coming to Egypt. He's like, yo, we're going to kill you. Cleopatra, Mark Antony, they take out the snakes. They do suicide by snake. They die.
Right.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. Romeo and Juliet.
Oh. By 27 BC, Octavian could rename himself Caesar Augustus, and he would go on to be remembered as the first emperor of Rome. So the backfire here is they thought Caesar, who they appointed dictator, was going to take over as an emperor, and Rome should never have an emperor.
Right.
We got to stab this guy. So they stab him, and then Caesar's biggest allies, his nephew, I think it's his nephew, I might be speaking that turn there, Octavian and his buddy Mark Antony, they like call each other up. Did you hear what they did to Caesar? Like, I know that you're kind of a punk bitch. I don't like you, but we gotta revenge Caesar. The liberators, Brutus and co. and Tullius just get squashed out right away. And then there's 10 years. 10 years, the liberators thought they succeeded.
They did good.
Yeah. See? No emperor, triumvirate, three-headed party. And then Antony and Octavian got bored. They want it for themselves, and then Augustus rules forever. Yeah. Was Augustus a good ruler? Because that's kind of like where it comes down to.
That's what I'm trying to figure out, and I don't know. I don't really know. There's a lot of connect the dots. A lot of these guys are kind of related. I'm not doing great with it, I'll be honest.
You're not happy with this story?
I didn't say that.
Oh, what did you say?
I didn't say that. I'm trying to connect all the dots right now at the end, and it's not as easy. Like, I was just clicking. I'm on Wikipedia right now, and there's a predecessor successor page. It's like who preceded who. And I don't know. I'm not finding the info I wanted. I've ended up on Tiberius. He looks like a total loser. I'm glad we didn't talk about him.
All right. I have
who's the last leader of the Roman Empire? I'm getting off topic.
Yeah, no. What we want to know is, was Augustus considered a good emperor? And I'm finding out, he never called himself an emperor. He never actually had that title. But, later on, when historians look back at it, you're like, that dude was the emperor. I'm going to go to one of my favorite sites.
I'm going to tell you, if you're at home, and I'm telling you right now, the unofficial end of the Greek Empire was a gentleman named Otho, Otho. Because just look at his bust.
What? Okay, what? How do you spell it? Say it again.
Otho.
Otho. Otho, emperor. And
Otho.
Google Images. You can't have that guy be a leader.
Yeah, he ended the Roman Empire.
Yeah, that's embarrassing.
So I don't know what the backfire is. Oh, he only got 3 months. Yeah, for good reason.
Yeah, you take one look at him, we cannot have that be our emperor. He's got kind of a fat, ugly face. If this guy was alive today, Otho the emperor, and he was looking like that, what would he be doing, Jake?
Just getting made fun of on Twitter. He'd be forced to resign because he would be getting cyberbullied too much.
Yeah. That's a tough world we live in now. Why wasn't Augustus one of the 5 good Roman emperors? So there you go. So I guess he wasn't the best emperor according to this one list. The 5 good emperors refer specifically to the chronological succession of 5 emperors. Oh.
I mean, honestly, here the backfire is on Caesar.
For getting stabbed?
Yeah, like okay, in this time of need, we need a dictator. So all right, we vote you in. You get to be the dictator. Oh wait, we're gonna stab you. There will never be a dictator of Rome. He's the one who got the backfire.
This one answer I found that I don't trust says he was a good emperor, Augustus. Is it better to have one single tyrant or 100 tyrannical senators? My favorite line from The Patriot with Mel Gibson.
Let's hear it.
I'm going to butcher it.
Okay.
I'd rather one tyrant 3,000 miles away than 3,000 tyrants 1 mile away. Something like that. So I'm not going to go to war. Okay, well, at the second half of the movie, they're going to kill all your kids. Okay, I'm going to war. I'll be the hero.
I'd rather a jar of peanuts within arm's reach than a massive peanut at the grocery store.
That's not true. How big are we talking massive peanut?
Yeah, how big is the massive
Because if
peanut?
it's like...
And is it a community peanut? Can everyone eat it? That actually probably makes it grosser for a lot of other people listening.
Giant peanut, though? Like, how big are you thinking? Does it fit in the shopping cart in your brain right now? No. Thinking giant, right? Yeah. Thinking like...
Giant
huge peanut.
I'm trying to think of a good comparison. I don't know. I'm landing in the
SUV.
Elephant range.
Okay.
It's big.
This big peanut. You can climb on it.
But it's like I can't... The story was I couldn't eat the peanut, but okay. It was a bad example, apparently.
Yeah, because everyone wants the big peanut.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. This was episode 3, Laughs from the Past, season 5, Historical Backfires. We will be back next Tuesday with another one. Thank you, and see you later.